Excellent. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We're on episode 3 of our HawkNest series. Today, we're going to be tackling advances in AI and customer engagement. I am joined, as ever, by my trusty co-pilot here, Gavin Kearns. Go ahead and say hello.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to. Looking forward to chatting with you all again for
Excellent.
session number 3. Yeah,
Session number
many
3.
more to
And
come. Yeah.
I am Jonathan Meyer, of course, your senior solutions engineer and resident webinar host, it seems like here. So, but we got a fun one here.
Seriously.
As always, these HawkNest series are kind of little bite-sized things. So we're going to move a little quick. We want to make sure that we're getting as much kind of information in front of you guys as possible. And just as a quick kind of heads up here, you might be noticing that in the bottom corner of your screen there is a little QR code. So one of the things that we are really excited about, we know these are really short kind of conversations. We want to make sure that we're giving you guys the opportunity to reach out to us, get in front of us for a longer conversation where we can really dive deep into a lot of these topics. That QR code down there at the bottom, you scan that. That's going to go ahead and get you right to the point where you can set up a conversation with us, where we can get in front of you, have a longer conversation, show you more of the functionality of the tool, have these deeper, in-depth conversations that are longer than 15 minutes. So go ahead and scan that QR code at any time during this presentation, and that'll get you to where you want to go to continue the conversation with us. But Gavin, let's go ahead and get started here. So what are we going to talk about in this episode of the HawkNest series? Really, obviously we've been kind of talking a lot about kind of the approach that you can take with HawkSearch, leveraging recommendations and leveraging the reporting functionality within HawkSearch to really kind of change internal methodologies, leveraging reporting, not just to say, oh, here's how search is working, but how can I use that to really change how I approach kind of behind the counter support for our clients. And the recommendations really driving that personalization to plug a gap there. For the AI conversations here, we're really looking at kind of these 3 major pain points. And these are pain points that have plagued everyone in this industry. Because really, pain point 1 is talking about losing customer orders with bad data. I can guarantee almost anyone who's watching this presentation has lost customers to someone who's come to your site, put in a keyword search, and not gotten back what they expected, or not gotten back what they were looking for. And that isn't a difficulty of, you don't have the right products. It's that you don't have the right data. And that what the visitor was searching on, what your customer was searching on, didn't match the exact data that you had in your product catalog. And no one had gone through to kind of create those relationships or massage the data. And you've lost customers that way. It's just kind of a straight fact. And as we're looking at pain point 2,
orders.
Lost orders. Yes, I'm sorry.
At least lost orders. Yeah.
Exactly. And then looking into pain point number 2, the thing here is that this is kind of an always expanding industry. And I think historically, when we're looking in kind of the B2B space, it's been kind of considered like, an older crowd that's looking at this. They like those behind the counter experiences, like calling up their sales rep and talking to them on the phone. That's changing. It is a younger crowd that is now moving in and taking those roles and taking on those positions. And so you want to make sure that you are looking towards what are the experiences that they're looking to drive. As those people are retiring out of the industry and we're bringing in new blood into the industry, you want to make sure you're delivering on the kind of experiences that they're looking for. How do they want to shop? How do they want to find the products they're looking for? And last, but certainly not least, pain point number 3 here, talking about losing time with that manual data entry. Kind of building off of point 1 and 2 here is the idea that if you're going to try and fix for some of these issues around bad data or poor technology that you're using, you're really kind of relying on your staff to go in and kind of manually build out these relationships. So that impacts your staff's availability in terms of where can they focus and spend time on, and also just kind of creates kind of friction there within your organization. Well, I got to go build out all this stuff. Help streamline that as well. So
the famous synonym list, right?
Yes, exactly. A huge pain point. So how are we going to help solve for those? Well, we're really leaning into the AI functionality here. As we talked about over, a lot in the HawkSearch world here, we've recently rolled out our Zeus release, which is very exciting. It really leans into a lot of the large language models that can help drive a lot of the functionality here using generative AI. And so as part of this conversation, I'm going to let Gavin talk here in just a second. I know Gavin's got a lot to say. But what we're looking to help solve for those pain points, for pain point 1 of losing orders to bad data, is really leaning into the concept search, which is leveraging those large language models to help the customers find what they're looking for, even if it's not the exact keywords that they've entered in. Being able to understand, well, this keyword can mean something else, and this matches against what your product catalog is. Helping support kind of new shopping experiences that your younger buyers, purchasers are going to be expecting. That's going to be the image search, the ability for them to come in, use their mobile device, take their cell phone, take a photo of that product, and have the search understand what that product is and return the results for that. And then helping your employees by really leaning into the generative AI access or generative AI functionality to help streamline that. So you've got these three major pain points that are hurting your business, hurting your bottom line, hurting sales. We want to help kind of solve for those, and we've got the right tools to do that here within HawkSearch. Gavin, I've talked a whole bunch already.
Yes, you have, more than normal.
Yes, but I wanted to really kind of give you lay out the roadmap for you
Yeah.
here. Let's dive into pain point one here.
Yeah. So pain point one is, and like you were mentioning, I mean, we spend the vast majority of our time in the B2B space. So one of the most common issues that we run into, often through implementation or discovery, is that we have, irrelevant data, we have old data. Maybe the attributes aren't, correctly assigned. Your facet and field management could be a little bit off. And what does that really mean when you're looking at it from a keyword perspective? Is you often get poor results. So, obviously we have all the levers and all the tools and the machine learning on that keyword component, but where the concept search comes in, and what it does is it literally opens up your entire catalog based on relationships versus keywords. So, the system is smart enough now to know if someone's shopping in like a use case scenario, like, can you help me find an electrical box to fit this? You have kind of not laid out any keyword information. There's no real attribute information. We don't have size. We don't have color. We don't have any of these sort of key points that you use on the keyword perspective. But the concept search understands that, and it breaks it down and understands where your catalog is accessible now, but based on these relationships. So it's really the power of both, right? You can have the full capability of coming in and saying, okay, SKU number, or I have a customer number, or I have a barcode, or whatever the typical ways are that you want to search on a keyword. And Hawk will return this for you. But if you've got someone that's maybe new to your site, maybe there are new trades, they come to your site to try and find a part, but they don't know your SKUs, they don't know your part numbers. Maybe you've got different lingo based on regionality. You can come in with this concept approach, even different languages. It could be written in Spanish. It could be, we have that whole capability to come in now and just someone come in and ask a question and access your entire catalog via the concept search, which I think is a phenomenal tool. And the best part about it is the way that it works. It lives on the HawkSearch side. So HawkSearch does this conversion. It understands your data. You don't have to spend hours and thousands of dollars going through normalization procedures and all that fun stuff. It just naturally, we can handle that sort of inconsistency now through the concept search. So really exciting stuff. Yeah.
Obviously, delivering best in class kind of B2B focused keyword search functionality with the part numbers and the SKUs. But this is really, like you're talking about, taking that existing catalog and kind of really exploding it out and doing this kind of whole approach of product discovery, where, like you said, maybe I'm going to search in Spanish, or maybe that's my primary language. You don't have to have that data already translated for HawkSearch now to understand what those requests are.
To understand it. Yeah. Where typically that would be individual engines and different catalogs and like all of that work that used to have to be done doesn't need to be done anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess the really exciting part about the concept search is it's taking that, I know we're going to touch it on the next place, but it's kind of taking that walk up mentality to go up to your sales guy and say, listen, hey, I'm in this project. What would you recommend for this to fit this? So it's kind of you changing the way that you're allowing your customers to not only shop on your catalog. It doesn't have to be so specific. They can come in and almost ask a question and still get the relevant results back. So, from a field perspective, from a growth perspective, like this is just something that's going to make your customer's life a lot easier.
Yeah, definitely. Well, let's get into the next pain point here, because that is part of kind of what you're just talking about. It's changing the approach and really helping other people understand,
this part really excites me, actually, because we are really noticing this kind of the change in the way that our customers, especially in the distribution, the wholesale, the electrical, they have so many people that want access to their catalogs, right? So you've got marketplaces, you've got TikTok, you've got all of these different routes that the younger generation of trades is now accessing to try and find catalogs. So the image search is something that is just phenomenal from a use case perspective. Like if you've got one of your trades guys out in the field, needs to order a part, doesn't know the part number, can literally just take a photo of this and pull that product up into your catalog. So you can imagine if someone's doing a large HVAC implementation or something like those lines where they need multiple parts, they can literally just take some photos of the bits that they have, and it's going to return, and then they can build that order. So it eliminates kind of that urge to maybe hold what the parts are you need. You got to go back to the shop. You've got to do all these sort of bits, and it just gives them real-time access just simply through their phone. So I think this is probably one of the most exciting components of our AI release, is that the use case that this brings to the market. So it's phenomenal.
Yeah, and we're going to provide a little demonstration of this here in just a second, but there is kind of another piece to this image search functionality, which is the ability to, if you don't have the thing in front of you, or you're not sure what it is, you don't want to use a keyword search. We have this functionality where we can describe the image, which I think you've kind of talked through in the past, that idea of how can someone leverage this.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, if you don't have an image, I mean, say you forgot your phone, you have no other, you can just type in what you describe it. We often use the one, I need a product that looks like the shape of an X or something like that. And it will pull anything within your catalog, which is absolutely mind-blowing stuff. So, from the field to your sales group to, any of your customers, maybe your top tier customers. I mean, just the opportunity for them to grow their business through your business is it's a phenomenal thing. We're really excited about this feature set.
Well, let's go ahead and show it off here. So let's go ahead and jump out to our demonstration site here. We've got our kind of electrical distribution catalog. We've got our products, our content, our documents. We can, of course, do that concept search or the keyword search, but we want to show you really the image search here, because, again, we have that limited time. So we want to walk you through an example here of what this would look like. Now, obviously, I am here on a desktop device, but if I was on a mobile device, I would go into this, I would tap, choose, or drop photos. This would pull up, instead of my desktop browser here, my file browser, it would pull up then your phone's library, or the ability to take a photo with that. I have kind of a photo that I have here taken with a cell phone of a safety switch box. We've gone ahead and uploaded that here. The AI is analyzing that and now finding the exact results for that. So obviously just kind of bridging that gap of, here's a real life photo of this product taken with a cell phone. We're uploading this, that AI is analyzing this, and they're saying, hey, this is what this product is, and this is what the products are in our catalog that matches against that, to find those exact matches. Really powerful stuff.
Yeah, unbelievable stuff. So you can just imagine that, like, someone's on site, needs a replacement, takes a photo, and there you go. You've got it right into cart. So it's phenomenal.
And while we're thinking about taking photos, don't forget, got that QR code down there in the corner. You can take your phone out, scan that QR code, and find an even more in-depth demonstration of this functionality for you. But there is another piece that we want to tackle here, which is the generative AI piece, because obviously, really, we want to help streamline that. So Gavin, why don't you talk a little bit about this as well?
Yeah, I mean, this is becoming, it's so funny. Week by week, by month, even we're finding the shift in use cases from customers. Like our first series was all about the analytics, because that was a really important. It seemed to be a very hot topic at the moment. But the SEO capabilities and the generative AI capabilities for synonyms and landing pages and regionality differences or spellings is always a topic of conversation, and it has been even from a keyword perspective. Often we get asked, what about if I've already got a pre-built synonym list? Can I import it? And it is a very kind of living and breathing component to everybody's business. So the generative AI we can use in multiple ways. So product descriptions. So if you got large catalog growth, your marketing team can create their own descriptions within seconds. Synonym lists, we can do this in different languages. We can do this based on regionalities. I mean, the generative AI, you could put a name in there and it will bring up alternatives. Like, you have such a vast use case for this. And then the other really powerful part is what we're noticing is that in the B2B space is you've got your big guys that are buying up people, and that's growing constantly. But a lot of people want to drive traffic. Mm-hmm. They want to get more of their customers involved on their use case, which is the on-site store. So the capabilities of using generative AI for the SEO tags and our URL capabilities and landing pages, it can be done in different languages without needing different. It just goes on and on and on. There's just so much capability within it, and every time we show it, it's kind of the last of the 4 that we show in most cases, right? It's concept. We have keyword, concept, image, and then image finder. And then generative comes up, and is always, everyone's like, oh my God, this is going to make life so much easier for us. So yeah, we're really excited about this. And it's from a maintenance perspective for maintaining catalogs. It's just, everything's just so seamless and quick now. It's just going to make life a lot easier, especially if you're a marketing team or any sort of user experience members, or you name it, they're trying to create anything in terms of dialogue. It can be just generated at the drop of a hat now.
Yeah, it's super impressive, and I think it gets to that pain point of the kind of time that would be spent in a workbench in an administrative in a system like this, building out those rules, writing out that SEO text, writing out the product descriptions, writing out the synonyms. We can just streamline that to such a degree and really factor in a lot of the kind of specificity and unique use cases that we see in the B2B space is I think super important. But again, 15 minutes has already flown by here.
It's done. Yeah,
it always goes so quick. So with that in mind, I'm going to, again, highlight the QR code here because we want to make these real quick for you guys, get like a little quick hit of information, see some use cases, understand how HawkSearch can solve for these kind of critical pain points that are, losing you orders, possibly losing you new customers, and losing, your employees' time working with the tool. We want to make sure that you understand how HawkSearch can really solve for those. And there's even more that we can show you. So go ahead and scan that QR code on your screen here. We've got it nice and big. You can't miss it now.
You can't miss it. and we do have, just to let everyone know, we do have another 3-part coming out as well, where we're going to dive into some of the kind of, I guess you'd call them the OG feature sets of HawkSearch. But essential in the B2B space. So we're definitely we'll spend some more time on those down the road. Yeah.
More Hawk nests to come. But in the meantime, scan that QR code, get a live in-person demonstration with us. We'll more than happy to show you even more about the tool. In the meantime, though, Gavin, thank you so much for putting this series together and
it's awesome.
Providing such great information. And we'll leave you till the next one. Stay tuned.
We'll see everyone shortly.
Thanks,
Take care. Bye-bye. Bye.